Hey guys, I'm Tom, and today I'm going to run you through how to unlock and perform your very first L-sit, either hanging from a bar or on some parallettes. Let's get into it. So firstly, if this is your entry into calisthenics, it's going to be a lot easier to perform the L-sit hanging from a pair of rings or a straight bar, as opposed to using a set of parallettes for a straight arm hold. If this applies to you, I'd suggest getting comfortable with a dead hang first, where you're literally just going to hang for as long as you can. We're going to have 4 sections in this video, with the first being our warm-up, targeting our hamstrings, hip flexors and wrists. Beginning with the hamstrings, I'll do some pulsing toe taps, starting with tapping my knees and slowly working my way down to my toes, or as far down as you're capable of going. This will really stretch out your hamstrings and allow you to get your legs fully straightened in your L-sit holds. Another variation of this would be sitting on the ground and touching as close to your toes as possible with straight legs. Next, I'll go into some hip flexor stretching with some dynamic exercises like these lunges, and again, I'll pulse through these to my max stretch for just 10 to 20 reps on each leg. I'll also do some leg swings and hip openers on both legs to really open up my hips and get them ready for these L-sits. Now for the wrists, which is super important if you're planning on using parallettes to practice your L-sits, because you have a lot of downward pressure and flexion through the wrists while you're holding your body weight up, so don't forget these. We'll do some wrist rotations to begin with, like these. I'll do about 30 seconds rotating in each direction, and then from there, I'll move on to these wrist clock movements, making sure to add pressure through each angle for 2 full rotations on both hands. Now that we're all warmed up, we're going to move on to the second section, the compression work. This part will focus on strengthening your core and hip flexors, so we're able to lift those straight legs up with ease. I'll start with a great exercise and my personal favorite, the core compressions. So situate yourself on the ground with your hands next to your quads and lift your legs as straight as possible in the air for 10 to 15 reps. If you're struggling with these, it's perfectly fine to have your knees bent until you're able to perform these with straight legs. Another variation of the core compressions that will target more hip flexors is performing them with your back up against a wall or a box while keeping your chest up and trying not to round your back too much. Raising one leg at a time, keeping these reps as slow and controlled as possible, you'll really feel the burn through your hip flexors after just one set of these. We've got our hip flexors and core nice and engaged and strong. We're going to move on to the third section here, which is our hanging L-sits. These can be performed either on rings or a straight bar, or really anything you can hang from in the house or around the gym. The first exercise we'll jump into is a simple tucked hang, where you're really just focusing on holding your knees straight out in front of you for as long as possible, and you can turn these into repetitions of raising and lowering your knees as well, if you'd like to, for sets of 10 to 15 should be fine. Once these become easier, you can work on single leg swaps until you can perform these with both legs straight and really unlock the hanging L-sit. If it's a real challenge to extend your legs fully, it's most likely due to tight hamstrings. So keep working on our warm-ups from earlier to see more progress in your straight leg L-sits. Now that we've had a good shot at the hanging L-sit forms, we're going to move into the fourth and final section of the video, the straight arm L-sit on parallettes or flat hands on the ground. For this section though, I will be using parallettes. If you don't have the upper body strength for this hold yet, I highly recommend working on some straight arm planks before moving on to the parallette progressions in the future. Similar to the hanging L-sit hold, you want to begin with some tucked holds and again working on bringing your legs out as far as you can with each session. These can be done as static holds or as repetitions, aiming for about 10 to 15 reps before moving on to a more difficult form or regressing back to an easier form. Another similar regression of the L-sit is to try this with single leg L-sit holds, where you'll have one leg tucked in and one leg straight, switching between each leg for the duration of your hold. I tend to aim reps on each leg and finish with a tucked variation. I recommend performing your closest form to the L-sit and then regressing it back from there as your body fatigues throughout your training. I know a lot of people, including me, struggled with the first stages of performing and unlocking the L-sit, so I hope this video has provided you with some knowledge to get you there. Please let me know in the comments if I've helped you make any progress with this skill, or if you have any tips that I've missed out that would be helpful for other people. Catch you in the next video. Cheers.